Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He is my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our review. We're talking about tonight, Married at First Sight. Wow. What an episode. The honeymoon is almost over. Couples are getting ready to go back to their home, and a lot is going on with these couples.
Mainly one couple.
More. Everybody has something going on, but this one couple has a lot going on. But we saw that one coming. But we're not going to get started with them. We're not going to talk about them first. We're going to get there a little bit down the line. But I do want to start with, let's start with, who you want to start with? I know it's getting close to Valentine's Day, so I'm going to give you who you want to start with.
We can start with Lindsey and Mark.
Let's start with Lindsey and Mark. All right.
So basically, we see that Lindsey and Mark, they got past their disagreement that they had. Mm-hmm. Her little disgruntlement she had with the romantic dinner that was not so romantic, and how they want to, he wanted to pull back some, and they basically talked about it in the lobby and kind of hashed it out, and he came back to the room and they, settled down or whatever. And then we see them the next morning, get up for breakfast, and we saw Deacon Mark spring into action.
Deacon Mark said, let's hold hands and let's pray.
Before, when they were eating breakfast. And so that led into a conversation about, what are your religious views? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to raise them in church? And surprisingly, but not surprisingly, Lindsey was like, yeah, I do. We know from the wedding, she grew up Greek Orthodox. Right. So she said, I still ascribe to that, and I like to raise my kids in that. It's a good foundation. And so, I would take them to church. That was his question. Would you take them to church? And she said she would, and give them the chance as they get older to decide whether they want to or not. So I thought, first of all, his prayer was really nice and genuine.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't like surface at all. I was really surprised. I was like, okay.
Leave
Deacon Mark.
Leave Deacon Mark alone.
I'm not bothering him. I'm just saying, because, we had somebody on the previous season who said they used to be a minister. And when they blessed the food, it was like, God is great and God is good.
Look, leave that dude alone before you start coming after us. I ain't messing with that dude, man.
I didn't call his name. I'm just saying.
Well, I know.
So it was a very generic. So, I was like, okay, go ahead, Mark. But they talked about kids. How many would they like to have? And Lindsey says anything but 3.
Yeah, I didn't understand this part. Why anything with 3? Maybe because 3 is not an even number. I mean, 2.
But 1 isn't either.
Well, yeah, but she said she didn't want. Well, yeah, 1.
She said she could do 1, 2, or 4,
but not 3.
Not 3.
Didn't explain that. I didn't understand that whole concept.
I don't know, but
Well, Mark,
she said, "Well, let's make a deal or a pact. If we have twins," she was like, "Twins will work, but if we have twins, that's gonna be one and done."
We're
okay,
done.
And he was like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
So, the other thing we saw with Mark and Lindsey, we see them go get a massage because she felt like he needed to relax, because we find out while he's been on his honeymoon, his surrogate mother, adopted mother, landlord, has been wearing his phone out, calling and texting.
All hours of the night.
Stressing him out. One time they laid down in the bed, turn the lights off, and the daggone phone rings. And so apparently she redid his lease while he was gone, and you can't have any cats, even though obviously she knows and Lindsey knows the man got 3 cats. And then she would have 2, they had 5.
And so Lindsey was like, basically, you getting evicted.
Right. Why did you do this while you're on a honeymoon? And so she says, I'm a mama bear. I'm going to look out for you. And like, she really takes up his cause and is like, I'm going to be a defender of you, and I'm going to look out for you because you look out for everybody else. And, you need somebody to look out for you. And so, again, she gets this massage to give him time to relax.
Just go back real quick, because she was like, I want you, Lindsey even made arrangements for the cats, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to stay at my house, and we're going to move in this apartment together. Then we eventually bring them into the apartment. And also not to also mention Mark's apartment had bed bugs. Now, we don't know where the bed bugs came from. I mean, he's been on a honeymoon for 5 or 6 days, so it may not have came from him, but whatever it is, they got in his apartment, and I guess he lived in
it don't sound right.
Yeah, it don't sound right. First of all, I don't think you can change a lease when somebody already has a lease while that person's on vacation, unless the person lives in the house with you. But even then, you can't change the lease. So we'll find out next week where Mark actually lives at. I don't know. I can't remember. It's kind of weird because, she shouldn't be changing the lease. Not like that. But Mark is stressed, nonetheless. He's stressed out, and it's time for a massage.
Mm-hmm. And so that goes really well. He was like, man, this is really relaxing. And, he feels a whole lot better with that. And the other thing we saw with Mark and Lindsey is that just real quick, they were out hanging out, exploring Puerto Rico. And she was like, I just like him. He's willing to do the kind of silly things that I want to do. And so they're out there flying a kite and just really having a good time. Again, it's a space where he can relax and get away from the cares and concerns that he'll have to get back to when they get back to Boston.
Yeah, and you can see her smile. She's really enjoyable. She's happy. And one thing she did, she's not falling in love or feel love with him. And so she's really falling in love. So she's used that love word for the last 2 episodes. So she really is loving on some Mark, and she really wants some Mark. So
why is that so loud this time?
She really wants Mark, and she really loving on Mark. So Lindsey and Mark are doing okay. We saw them, we saw him interact with Chris when they went on a date, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll get back to that later. Okay, so let's go to Olajuwon and Katina next, because that's kind of the way it flowed.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only exception we will have, not in order, is going to be the troubled children.
Train wreck.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, Olajuwon and Katina, their little excursion is they go horseback riding. And Katina says, I'm not an animal person. I don't like animals. So she's really not feeling the horseback ride.
Well, her.
Yeah, but she does it because, she wants to, do an activity with her husband. So she picks the slower horse.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was that Olajuwon's horse had to lead. Well, of course, when you go horseback riding, they tell you what to do. You have to pull the rein.
Right.
Whoa. You have to, you have to control the horse.
Correct.
So as they're riding, the horse is going a little bit faster than she would like, and is following. The whole thing is he's got to follow Olajuwon's horse, and she's getting her nerves all riled up, and he's like, calm down. You so stuck in it, nervous about it. You forgot what they told you what to do with the horse, and blah blah. And his thing is, I want to, which it was a few times in this episode where I was like, production think they so slick, because he made a comment, and in the preview it looked like he was saying something else, but it wasn't. His thing was, I want her to be able to enjoy these activities, and I want to be able to do it, and I don't want to not have to do it because of my wife.
Right.
Not like forget her, because the preview made it look like it was like forget her, but he was just like, this is why I'm doing it, because I want her to participate in the things that I'm participating in. So I'm trying to get, and Katina said it too, I'm getting out of my comfort zone some more, but
he's too pushy.
Yeah.
He really was like, "Yo, come on, let's do this. Let's go. I want to be excited. Let's go. Let's do this. I'm pushing you. I'm motivating you. I got to go." Same thing he was doing in the gym in the last episode, right? He has to try to motivate her and try to push her, but he doesn't know the limitations, and he doesn't know the limits. When pushing her, it was getting her to the point where he was gonna break. Then she was gonna quit. She said it. I was gonna just say quit this.
And she said I was gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah, I was gonna punch you in the face.
I was upset about to punch you in the face. And so they got a good understanding of, I understand you want to push me, and I'm fine to get outside my comfort zone. But she was like, understand when I'm really nervous and when I'm anxious, it's not going to do any good. He was like, I see you kind of like shut down. And she was like, yeah. So he was like, I'll work on that to try to, push you, but not to the point of resistance.
Yeah, but he's the Energizer Bunny. He want to go and keep going and going and keep going. And he doesn't recognize and understand that everybody doesn't have his energy. Everybody doesn't have his enthusiasm. Everybody doesn't have his adventurous spirit. You know what I'm saying? There are some people who are adventurous, but it takes them time to get there, right? And so he's learning that with Katina, and understand that Katina's getting to that process, and he has to bring her along. But it has to be a delicate process, because he does not want to alienate her and push her away from wanting to do anything with him. Because that can, we talked about it even within the gym situation. I need you to move on. Hurry up. Do it this way. All right. And so it becomes a problem, and he has to be very careful. It is a fine line that he has to walk in order to make sure his pushing, him wanting to achieve and do different things does not push his wife away because she's not excited about that, or she's not willing to partake in anything he does adventurous. So he has to be careful.
And so then we also see Noy and Steve. Like I said, we're going to hit these other couples real fast because it wasn't a whole lot with them, just to be honest. Noy and Steve, they go to the waterfall.
Yes.
And Noy doesn't know how to swim.
Scared of water.
And again, Steve's thing is, these are things I like to do, and I like to have my wife included in it.
Correct.
And so they go to the waterfall, and they talk about getting in the water. Let me help you float and everything, and it was going good till the fish bit her foot.
Right. So biting. Right.
The fish started biting. But yeah, she was nervous, but she let him help her out and kind of guide her. And so they did a lot of
kissing.
Yeah, and hugging up and stuff, and so it was real cute for them.
It was cute for them because it allowed them you saw a different side. You saw the teaching side of Steve, and you saw the vulnerability of Noy, and what she allowed him to be able to take the lead and allow him to be able to put her be more vulnerable with him and allow him the water. Now the fish did bite at the wrong time, but because she was getting used to Steve being there and being comfortable and not being afraid of the water and everything of that nature. So it was a good moment for them. They had a good time. And you get starting to see how their relationship is really starting to blossom here on the honeymoon. So I think Noy and Steve are moving in the right direction. And even when the couples get together and you see they're at the table, they don't say much. They just focusing on what's going on, and they focus on each other. And I think that's what's been going on with Noy and Steve. They've been focusing on each other. Steve talked a little bit, but we'll get to that later. But they're focused on them, and I think that's what makes their relationship work. You don't see them really interacting with anybody else, except for when it's a group deal where they're learning and having communication for themselves.
And so then Jasmina and Michael, they also have their little exploring.
Yeah.
We do see a moment where Jasmina and Michael, and then Olajuwon and Katina, they got together. Yeah. And had a little hangout. Jasmina was like, this is a couple we're closest with. And they have a little double date. And
they believe that they're compatible. They see why the experts match them together. They see why the experts put them where they were at. Olajuwon shares what happened with him and Katina with the horses. And Michael shares his piece. Like same thing we were just saying. Michael shares his piece like, bro, you might want to calm that roll. Bring it down just a little bit. Just bring it down a little bit. We see Jasmina and Michael say they understand why the couple's put together, but they also see some differences as well. But they're willing to work on that and willing to go and move forward. So they understand that they're compatible, but they see there's some things they got to work on.
Yeah, the communication they need to work on, and getting an understanding of each other. Yeah, so she's looking for that to improve, hopefully. And so
go ahead.
No,
fine. I was getting ready to go to the next part, but you go ahead.
Okay, no, you can go ahead.
Oh no! Then they decided to go to the water. Seemed like they was overlooking on the balcony, looking at the water. I thought it was a good idea to go to the same place. It looked like they went to the same place Noy and Steve went. It's like a little waterfall type situation, and it was there. And you saw Michael there. They had got on this like a moss rock, and when it was on the moss rock, somebody had carved in their initials into the rock, and he was like, "Well, let us carve. Can I carve our initials in?" It's like, that's kind of corny. That's
cool. What he asked was, would it be corny if we put our initials too? And she says, no. She wasn't like, so much force. She was like, I don't think it'll work. And I was like, oh, she kind of like blew him off.
She dry.
But he still wanted to do it. He got back to it later. But before that, they talked about how at the beginning they weren't really seeing eye to eye.
Right.
And so he wanted to have this excursion so they could kind of start fresh and just have some fun together. And she admittedly said in her vignette that her mood's been off, because, we need to work on our communication. But I'm also trying not to focus on that so much that it affects our time and these memories that we'll have of Puerto Rico. But she says, I want to be more comfortable around him. And I feel like the more I get to know him, that the rest will follow. It'll get better there. And so she shares with her about how he got bullied.
Yes,
yes, that story. So I still got a little bit of trauma from that. How he got picked on. He was like, "Can I get a hug?"
And she was,
the hug was really kind of pitiful.
It was petty though, but he took it in stride. Like, that made me feel better. Bully story was there was a bigger kid, 6th grade. He was a young kid. It was picking on him. So that's my seat. Made him move. He got to the other seat. That's my seat
too.
That's my seat also. You eat that cornbread.
It really sounds like something from a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, like you eat that cornbread, and then he just start pummeling him. And so he's traumatized from that. Michael had a rough way. I mean, let's be honest. All the things that he's been through, from found out last week, people dying, to being beaten up, to be traumatized. This dude really needs some therapy. And then he might be going. I don't know, but he may not be. He brings a lot with him into this marriage, a lot. And so, even with Jasmina saying, she's still on the fence with him.
Mm-hmm.
She's not 100% sold in, even though they had a great date this time.
Mm-hmm.
Great date. They laughed, they joked, they did everything. She is still, when they did her vignette, she's still on the fence and said his communication has to get better. I like him, but the communication has to get better.
Yeah. He tried to carve their initials in the rock anyway, and it didn't really work out, but she said she appreciated the thought. And they took a lot of pictures. He convinced her to get in the water. I'm thinking she probably doesn't know how to swim either.
No, she doesn't.
Doesn't really care for the water too much. And but they were able to get into the water, took some pictures, and he laid down in the water. Mm-hmm. And like she said, he said it's the first time he's seen her really smile since the wedding day. And like she said, I just want to have fun and let loose and be open, because that's the whole point of it. But again, I still got in the back of my head this issue that we had, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the point where I feel completely comfortable with him. But I'm gonna keep trying. It's definitely worth trying.
Definitely worth trying. I mean, I can see. I'm gonna ask you because you like using it. So was Michael Ham's ugly this episode?
Yes, he's gonna always be Ham's ugly.
Okay, gotcha. I just want to check.
Ham's ugly don't change.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Keep going. Ham's ugly don't change. All right, so let's start with the train wreck.
Let's get it. We already covered Katina and Elijah one, Lindsey and Mark, Noah and Steve, Michael and Jasmina, and we only have left. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the train wreck. I think this is one of the worst couples ever married at first sight.
Oh,
at least
no, I didn't even want to say it's the worst couple.
Worst person.
It's one of the worst people in a couple.
One of the worst pairings. I'm gonna put it that way.
Oh my gosh.
One of the worst pairings.
Y'all thought who was bad last season? This is the female version.
She ain't a hustler.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, she's bad.
The first thing is, we talked about this real quick, but my sister said it too. It was like, oh, I just love how they just interjected the Pastor Cal thing in the middle.
Yeah.
It was like it got edited in later because we want you to know we have been seeing the foolishness.
We haven't seen what's going on with Mark. We have seen what's going on with Chris and Lindsey, and just want to let you know that we experts keep watching an eye on it closely, and we're going to we're going to interject the activity which we think will help them grow closer together. Really, they're trying to do activities. Don't work, and you're going to interject the activity. I'm surprised he ain't take his glasses off
because he's trying to give them. He said we're trying to give them something where they can react with each other. It's a little bit looser. Maybe she'll loosen up, And so they go to play tennis. And So they do a little bit. And then he was like, what, you feel like talking? You want to sit down here and talk? And automatically she's like, I'm like, good Lord, girl, you don't want to talk to the man? And so, again, here goes editing again, because what preview? Because the preview would have you think the conversation went a little bit different than it did. Mm-hmm. But what he said was, okay, so after this, we're going back to Boston, and, we're supposed to be moving into the apartment.
Right.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and move in. I figured, you wouldn't feel comfortable moving in. Yeah. And so the preview would have you thinking that her comment was, why would you assume I don't feel comfortable moving in? But that wasn't her comment.
No.
Her comment to him was basically, why should you get to move in, but I don't? Why would you assume you should be the one to move in and I'm not? And this was our thing. You haven't wanted to do anything with him.
Not at all, nothing.
The whole time. So why would I think that you would move into the apartment with me? And why would you think that I'm not going to move in? Like, why would I even be thinking that she wants to move in? Maybe I shouldn't. Like,
and y'all had no conversation. This is my thing. Had no conversations.
Like, none. He is really thinking that you're not in it. So
yeah,
the apartment thing is a moot point. Like, okay, and so she gets upset basically because.
Let me get there before you get into that. Because this is where my blood started boiling in this episode. Because no one ever told you that you couldn't move in.
Oh, he said that to her. She said, so I can't move in. He was like, no, you can move in. But the part he left off was, but I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be here with you. You can move in.
You can move in. I'm not telling you can't. But just know, I'm in the whole process. And the whole process is you move into the apartment in the building with the rest of the couples with your spouse.
Right.
And technically, you're not treating me like I'm your spouse. You're still treating me like a stranger. And you're definitely treating me like somebody you do not like.
Like a roommate.
Which continues to, not even a roommate, because she ain't stayed in the room with
right.
me. And you continue to perpetuate, right? And so she was like, well, why is it that I'm not going to be moving in the apartment? I feel like I'm getting robbed of the experience.
To hang out with my girls.
I'm getting robbed of the experience. Okay? And so she was like, you know what? I don't like the way this is going. I'm going to walk away. Because what he told her before she walked away was, he says, well, looks like you got some tough decisions to make.
Yeah, tough decision. And I'm going to stay there.
And he's telling the truth.
This decision is to either come in and move an apartment, because, again, the apartment has 2 bedrooms, all right?
Hopefully.
No, this apartment. Every one of these apartments had 2 bedrooms. When they started,
for the last few times.
When they started doing it, it always had 2 bedrooms. Matt slept in his own little bedroom. He had the bedroom with Jac and Mindy. When he did come over for the top couple of days, he went in the bedroom. We know there was 2 bedrooms in this past season. Most of the time, since they've been to the apartment complex, everybody been in an apartment complex, they've always been 2 bedrooms. All right, so they got a 2-bedroom apartment. She can stay there. She just doesn't want to stay there with him. And so the problem is, if you can't stay here with me, even if you sleep in another bedroom, and we do the husband and wife thing and try to get to know each other, maybe trying to get to like each other, maybe try to get closer, then I'm not doing it. So I'm moving in. No one's stopping you from moving in.
Right.
You're stopping yourself from moving in. And she's talking as if he's stopping her or production stopping her, but she's stopping herself and playing the victim role. As if, oh, y'all not going to let me move in? No one told this chick that she couldn't move in. No one said she couldn't be at the apartment. No one said she couldn't hang out with her friends. No one said that she couldn't hang out with the rest of the girls. She has put all these restrictions on herself. If that's not a Karen, or the lady who cried wolf, or the victim, she's trying to play the victim, and the dude has not done anything. Nothing.
It's terrible.
Nothing.
She don't want to move in with him. But again, I want the experience when all the girls are hanging out, like, you know, spontaneously. I would have to be the one to have to come over there and hang out with them instead of just being there in the spot. And
it's not like it hasn't been done before. Paige did it.
You know, he's talking terrible to me. You hear the way he's talking about me or to me, and look at him. He's so aggressive. Look at how he's moving his hands. Look at what he's doing. And the producer was like, he's just pointing. He's using his hands to talk, but it's so aggressive.
He's breathing. If she would have said he's breathing and didn't want him to die, he just breathing. Can y'all get him to stop breathing?
Look at his hand gestures. I was like, girl.
It's not like he's throwing up gang signs.
Are you? But it's not even in your direction. Like, what are you talking about?
What was that Tyler Perry movie? He wasn't like a 1-800 choke that hoe. He wasn't like that, right? He didn't say, he wasn't like looking at her pointing to the producers and like behind the producers.
Talking to somebody
behind the producers' back. He wasn't like. He was talking to somebody.
It
was like the hand gestures he's making is like, yeah, she went that away, or they're like they're over there.
So when you build this thing and you do, you know, I was like, girl, you know, it's really bad when, and God knows I've been there, but not in that kind of situation. But it's like when you don't like somebody, when you really don't like somebody, every little thing they do irritates you. But he has given her no reason to feel that way. And in this part, of course, she throws her favorite line out. I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. She throws that out.
Telling you, I'm gonna get a t-shirt. I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. If you got to keep telling yourself that, guess what you're not are? Well, guess what you're not?
A good person.
You're not a good person. You're not nice. Who are you trying to convince? You trying to convince us, or we trying to convince you? Because the cameras don't lie. It's documented that you're not a nice person.
So then we see Chris talking to his sister. He FaceTimes his sister. And she was like, how's married life? And he says, you know, married life is not what I expected. And he explains to his sister Alyssa's behavior that's been going on. And, you know, how she walks out on conversations and gets defensive when he says anything, any version of she didn't give it a try. Then she gets upset. You know what I'm saying? We see on the flip side, her talking to the producer, and she was like, you know, I'm sick of it. I'm stuck in this terrible situation. And, you know, I'm absolutely miserable. And, you know, I could be portrayed in a poor light. And I'm sick of crying and being positive.
Positive? What's she been positive at? Y'all let me know. If this girl has not been positive whatsoever, except for when she's sitting with Katina and Jasmina. But they're talking about something else. But she has not been positive about her husband, her and her husband relationship. We see her, even though there's a clip where Chris is doing something and she's out on the beach by herself, you know, just chilling in her bikini. This is like what I want to do. I just want to sit here and chill by myself and hang out with the girls. You don't want to be with your husband.
Oh, she says, you know, I'm being the good person and I've been taking the high road. The high road is never demeaning somebody, being accusatory of things they haven't done.
Body shaming.
Taking the high road is not body shaming. Taking the high road is not playing a victim. Taking the high road is not having or thinking or feeling a certain way about a person. And even when they ask you, not sharing that with them, that is not taking a high road. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back to that in a minute because I almost said what we said her problem might be.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But anyway, so then we see Chris. He asked the crew, you know, you know, if I want to talk, to ask her if she wants to talk to me in private.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk to her in private. And so the producer's like, you know, he said he wants to talk to you. Will you talk? No. adamantly, she's like, I don't want to talk to him. I hate him. He's an a-hole. He's disrespectful and rude. You know, you're doing me dirty, and it's disgusting that a man is treating a woman like this. And I've been nothing but nice to him. You know, he's a crappy car salesman that sells houses. And why does he think that he can move into the apartment and I don't get to? And I mean, she just goes on and on talking to the producer, which again, I say that the producer is not your friend.
Not at all.
They are there, the producer and the cameraman. They are there to make good TV. And right now, you are giving them a show.
You're doing exactly what they want you to do. And I'm like the producer. Get back in the game, boo. I
ain't even there yet.
Get back in the game.
I ain't there yet.
All right, go ahead. You want to get there?
Yeah, real quick. So he continues on the flip side. Chris is still talking to his sister by FaceTime. Yes. And he was like, you know, she says that we're not compatible and she feels like she got robbed because she didn't get the person that she wanted. And his sister was like, well, you know, she doesn't know if she got the person that she wanted because she hasn't talked to you. No. And so, you know, it's funny because when we talk to her mom and her friends, they say you're exactly what she needs. Our mom told her mom how down to earth you are, how you never raise your voice, and you know how you can have conversations. And again, her mom said that's exactly what she needs because Alyssa likes to fly off the handle. Have we seen that? She cries all the time.
We've seen that too.
We've seen that. And she needs somebody to bring her down to earth. Seen that too. Mm-hmm. And so the sister's like, you know what? I think maybe, since she's drug her feet and she's not willing to meet you halfway, but maybe you should just cut your losses.
Cut it.
And he was like, yeah, you know, maybe I'm just about at that point. Just about. Linda, this is where I have a problem with Chris. Just about, sir. And I'm going to get into this. He sounded like Abraham bargaining with God to save Sodom and Gomorrah. If you give me 50%, if I can get 30%. Mm-hmm. He was like, if I could get 1%.
If I get her to love me just 1%.
No, not love.
Oh.
1%. If you say a 1%, I'm gonna try.
I'm gonna try.
So he said, I'm just about at that point. What? Are you kidding me? Alyssa is talking to the producer. Again, the only time I'm happy is when I'm with the girls. I'm sitting by myself, like you said. You know, I'm not being portrayed in a good light. And my mom is very upset. And I'm thinking, you know, she's saying my mom is very upset because of the way y'all portray me. No. She said her mom is very upset because she thinks I'm not being nice to Chris. And I am being nice. And if I'm not portrayed in a good light, I'm going to be really pissed off because, again, I'm a nice person. And this is what me and my husband talked about.
What?
The show is being filmed as she's talking this.
Mm-hmm.
It has not been put on TV. So if there's anything that your mother thinks or makes your mother think that you're not being nice to him, where did she get it from?
She got it because you're not nice.
No, but she got it because you're telling her about it because she ain't talking to Chris.
Correct.
The producers ain't going to call your mama. So anything that your mom would think that you're not being nice is coming from what's coming out of your mouth. And the fact that she raised you, she gave birth to you, and she knows that you're a butt.
But again, that's what they told Chris's sister at the wedding. This is who she is. This is what she does. And basically her parents, and to the way I look at it, it was like, you know what, Chris, this is your problem now. You can take over because she needs somebody like you because she's all these things, and you're gonna be patient, you're gonna be kind, you're gonna be gentle, you're gonna be listening, and she needs somebody like you because she flies off the handle. So she needs somebody to bring her back in.
Because we have tried it for years.
We tried it for
worked.
Counseling didn't work, and I'm gonna say it. I think the girl on meds. Or if she ain't on meds,
that's what we're gonna get to.
She needs some.
I think she needs
some. She needs something. Something's not right, dog.
Her dosage needs to be changed.
The elevator don't go to the top.
That too. I have never, ever in my life. And me and my husband, we work with people.
Yeah.
Athletes, patients, people that need counseling. But I have never in my life seen someone so disillusioned and out of touch with what your behavior really is. How can you be so oblivious to your foolishness? I've never. The only people I know like that is the ones that need meds.
She needs something, because again, reality check, because she's talking as if somebody's literally doing this stuff to her, and she's doing it to herself. Again, no one has told her that she couldn't walk into the apartment. No one has told her that she couldn't have a good time on the beach. Unless Chris is doing something we're not seeing. And I just don't believe that they would have, if he had done something to her, that we would have not seen it yet.
That is what me and you talked about. I don't believe that if he was being such a butthole, if he was doing her so wrong, that production would not show him, but would show her. Oh, no. They're going to show both sides of it. They have done that before. They showed Jamie being a butt just as much as they showed Beth
being a butt.
And neither one of them nowhere close to this chick.
No, not at all. She is
Tramp.
Don't call it. No.
I'm just saying, any name you pick, loser, bum, But anyway, then so we see again, she's talking to the producer, running Chris down, and I have to be specific because we don't know their names. So while she's talking to one producer, we see the black producer come in, and I think this is the same one.
Montreal.
Yes, I think. Thank you. That dealt with Mika and Michael.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like him. So Montreal comes and tells her, at the end of the day, this show is about marriage. It's not single at first sight. Right. It's married at first sight. And if you're not a couple, then you're done. She says, I don't care about other people, but it's about how I feel. I'm not being dramatic about this.
Really?
What the F is happening? I feel like, I'm handling this better than anyone in the group would. And Montreal, well, I'm assuming it's Montreal. It's definitely a black producer, but it sounds just like Montreal. Montreal says, look, you need to decide, am I willing to try to show up? And if the answer is yes, there's somewhere to go, right?
Yeah.
If your answer is yes. And she says, well, I guess, you have to figure it out, but not today. And he says, yeah, but soon. You're going to have to figure this out soon. Because he was like, we about to move in. And the funny part is another producer's there, looks like a lady, and she gives Alyssa a hug. It's okay. You're going to be okay. I'm like, stop coddling this heifer.
Stop babying her. That's the problem. They've been babying her all this time, her life. And you can see people have been given into these emotional fits. This is what they are. It's called emotional manipulation. She's manipulating the situation to make somebody feel sympathetic and empathetic with her. And it's all a lie. To me, I think production should stay out of it. Let it ride. No, boo, you know what? We want to, but guess what? They told us hands off. You keep it moving, right? Keep it flowing. Do what you do. But guess what? You're going to have to go to, at the end of the day, y'all going to make a decision. At the end of the day, you either married or you're not married. At the end of the day, either you're going to move in the apartment with him or not move in the apartment with him. You want to do scenes with him? No. Okay, cool. We're going to go see Chris.
Because we've done that before.
Yeah.
They've had people that didn't want to film with each other.
Yeah.
They've had couples that didn't move in together.
Yeah. So she's playing a game. She's playing a part when it's convenient for her.
Right.
And then when it gets tough or the situations get difficult or it goes the way that she doesn't want it to go, she backs out, play the crying card in the game. Nobody's playing with you, boo.
I mean, they are playing with her. But they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be.
And I can appreciate Montreal stepping in and saying, look, enough of this.
Somebody has to, because
you need to decide.
Her mama tried to get Chris to do it. And now Chris, she don't even want to talk to him, so he really had no choice. I agree with Mark. When Chris was out with Mark and Lindsey, Chris was like, she's a better man than me. Because he is a better man than me. Because it would have went a totally different way. All this went a totally different way.
Yeah.
Totally different way.
And you went there. Lindsey and Mark, Lindsey said they were meeting up with our buddy Chris.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Alyssa meet up with Jasmina and Katina.
Yes.
But first, Lindsey and Mark was like, how's everything going? It looks like you're doing a little bit better. And he says, he talks about what went down at the tennis court.
Yeah.
And how, it's not going well. She has an issue, but she can never exactly tell me what the issue is. Lindsey was like, I'm confused. Like, she never gave you a chance.
Mm.
And it's like, since you didn't fit the version of the person in her head, then
she told you to bounce.
She just, blanked out. Like she can't, checked out. And Chris was like, she's never said anything to me that it was something physical, because Lindsey said, I think it's because, that might be what it is. He was like, well, she never said anything to me about it being physical, but she's also never said, well, you're a nice guy.
Right.
But this, or I like the way you look, but you're not a nice guy. Right. She never said neither one of those. So he said, it's not, I'm not sure. Lindsey's like, well, he's like, I'm not sure if it's maybe that she's something that she's not trying to say. Lindsey was like, maybe, she's trying to be nice about it. Well, that's what Jasmina and Katina said. It's crazy. So Jasmina and Katina, they meet with her like on the beach,
sitting on the beach.
And it's like, okay, so what's been going on? Oh, the last couple of days have been hard. I'm happy that everyone else is happy, but it's hard to be around it since I don't have that. I'm not happy, and neither one of us thought this would be our situation, but this is what it is. And what's tough is, I'm not blaming him, but it seems like he's blaming me. And, it's upsetting to me.
But why can't he blame you? Because it's you. He has the right to blame you because it's you. This man has tried. Do you want to go to the beach? No. Do you want to go shopping? Do you want to hang out and go paddle boating? Do you want to go snorkeling? Do you want to go scuba diving? Do you want to sit there and just have a conversation? Do you want to just eat dinner? Do you want to go out and look at the stars? He's tried every single thing, and you have turned him down. So
do you want to cut your toenails?
No. Are you going to brush your teeth today? No. I mean, it's just all those type of things, and it's always been you saying no. So it's not him. It is you.
And why can't he blame you?
Yeah.
Because for real, you're making yourself miserable, and now as a result, you're making him miserable.
She's like that little kid in the store who can't get something, and they just having that tantrum, and they keep working it up and keep working it up and keep working it up. And Mom,
it's your fault that I'm having a temper.
It's your fault that I'm having a no. It's your fault because when I told you no, you kept working yourself up. So you just stay over the corner until you calm down.
The heifer had the nerve to, while she was talking to Jasmina and Jasmina and Katina, she says, I came into this and put in the same effort as everyone else. I literally wrote down LOL. No, you haven't. And they look at her like, Jasmina's like, well, so you feel like you've done everything to try to make it work? Alyssa's like, well, see, here's the thing. I 100% now. Have you tried everything to make it work with Chris?
Yeah.
Have you tried everything to make it work with Chris?
We have to be specific because she's thinking because making it work is, I made this
she
experiment.
Said, I 100% came into this, trying to find a husband. And that wedding night, no. Did you make it work with Chris? Not did you make it work so that you could go into the process?
No. Did you make it with the guy who stood at the altar with you? The guy on the airplane that you didn't want to sit beside? The guy that had to sleep in his hotel, his honeymoon suite by himself that night? The guy that you said his body, look at his body, it disgusts me. The guy that you didn't want to come over and tell producer, don't let him come over here right now. The guy that you're crying about, but not staying in the apartment with. That guy.
Lord have mercy. She said the wedding night, I talked to his friends and family, and they told me all this stuff about him. And unfortunately, it was things that just didn't sit well with me. And Katina was like, well, even though you heard it from them, like we said before, did you fact check it?
Did you fact check it?
You just took it at face value, and you, instead of putting it in your pocket and then seeing how he act and then saying, oh, this is how they said he would act. You didn't even give him a chance to act like they said he acts.
And so Katina gave us some sound advice.
She was like, look, I think this is a slip up on your end, you know, for taking what they said and basing your interactions on it. And Alyssa says, I understand where you're coming from, but no matter what happened, I'm doing my best to be respectful and honest. And, you know, I feel like I am doing that. And Katina and Jasmina's face was like, sis, you ain't doing it. But
you're not doing it.
And I'm going to tell you this, even though I feel like Katina really addressed the issue and gave her some good advice, I felt like a little bit they kind of still coddled her. Jasmina, to me, coddled her. Well, I didn't like it. You know, she says, Katina's like, well, you think the reason he might be blaming you is because he's unclear as to why you feel this way? Right. And she was like, oh no, we've had many conversations.
But this is what I want to say. Where was the conversations? Right? He says they're not talking off camera. You're not going to, because let's be honest, she's not going to his room in the middle of the night to have conversations with him. Right?
He literally said later, she does not talk to me outside of when it's our time to film, when we're on camera, and when we have to be in a space together. She does not talk to me.
She's living her best life.
She don't talk to me. And, you know, she was like, well, I explained to him why we're not a good match, why I don't feel like we're a match. Katina was like, well, you know what? In my opinion, you're not physically attracted to him. Yeah. And that's fine.
It's okay.
And, you know, Alyssa admits to them finally, but, you know, but also, you know, it's not, this is not what I asked the experts for. They didn't give me what I wanted.
They didn't give me that Ken Barbie doll.
And she said, I would have rather been told that you just didn't have a match for me
than to be with him.
So my question to my husband was, what did you ask for? Besides 6 feet tall, olive complexioned, slick back hair,
right,
muscle bound, nice teeth. What else did you ask for? Did you ask for somebody who was kind?
Yeah.
He is.
Kind.
Did you ask for someone who was willing to work with you?
He is.
Did you ask for someone who liked to do things?
He is.
Did you ask for someone who was family oriented?
He is.
So what did you ask for then? I'm confused.
She asked for a guy who had broad shoulders, 6-pack, and had all the same qualities and characteristics as Chris. But we talked about that. Those guys are not on the show, right? Those guys are already scooped up. Those guys are already taken. Those guys probably don't even apply for the show.
Or those guys do not want to get married, which is your problem. Because remember, you had one that left you high and dry at the altar.
Yeah, he left you high. Well, we see why he left high and dry. I don't know. Don't condone people to get left high and dry. But dude was tired.
Katina said, you might have to tell him straight up and bluntly. Because you may think you told him, but you didn't. And you don't want to keep. She didn't say keep. She said want to. But I'm going to say, you don't want to keep hurting his feelings. Because at this point, his feelings are hurt.
She don't care about his feelings anymore.
She was like, you beat around the bush. And that's why he's like, you didn't tell him. Jasmina said, look, in my opinion, and then she said this in her vignette, Alyssa was done from day one. It doesn't seem like she ever gave him a chance. And she said, my heart goes out to Chris. Again, my problem with Jasmina is she said this in her vignette. She didn't say it right there in that place. Now, when they get to the table a little bit later, she does say something,
Right.
but in that space, she did not address it.
That we saw. I would say that we saw.
No, that's what I said. In that's right.
That's it. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, like you said, Chris continues his conversation. You know, he's like, I'm frustrated because I can see where we could be compatible based on what he wanted in a person. And probably what she wanted too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, you know, Chris said, I can just control what I can control. That's where I'm gonna operate. And so I'm gonna do all I can to try. And Mark was like, you know, I give props to him because I wouldn't put up with that crap.
Most men wouldn't have put up with that.
And he was like, you know, I feel like, dudes, you need to just let it go. You know. So fast forward to dinner with all the couples.
Right.
And we see, you know, how's everything going? Jasmina's like, you know, I'm excited to get back to work, get back to normal life and routine. And Lindsay's like, I forgot what you do. She's I teach toddlers. Which goes into another conversation. You know, we love kids.
How many kids you want?
How many kids do you want? They had that whole conversation. Michael throws out, who do you think will be the first one to get pregnant? They all think it's gonna be Noy and Steve. And it was like, will it be on purpose or accidentally? Ha ha ha. You know.
Steve talks about wanting 2 kids. 2 kids. And Noy said she wants 4.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it was like we kind of work in between. And then I think who made the comment? Chris made the comment and said, well, why don't y'all have 2 and then figure out how you can manage the 2 before you get the 3rd one.
Right. So and you know, Chris says, you know, at first I was adamant that I didn't want to get married and then I didn't want kids. Because, you know, there were things I wanted to do. He said, but in the last few years, the last 5 years, I feel like basically all my ducks are in a row. I've gotten my life to a place where I feel like I wanted to get married and I want to have kids. I feel like I could be a father. You know, and everybody's like, you know, I think you'll be a great dad one day. And then I thought it was so funny. Lindsay was like, yeah, you'll be a great dad and a husband.
And a husband, yeah.
And a husband. And I was like,
she threw some shade.
I love it. Mark asked, has anybody, you know, have there been any bumps yet that people have had to work through? And it was like dead silence.
Now, hold on. This is a question that the producers pushed. He didn't come up with this by himself. The producers like, I need you to say this. All right? You know, ain't no way in the world. Those last two questions that they come up with themselves.
But all I know is it was crickets.
Yeah.
On Alyssa and Chris's side of the table, which let me add, I'm very surprised that she sat beside him, probably because she had to, but she did not look like
it was a big gap, like that big.
It was a gap between them, but she was sitting over there with him. And I thought it was so funny. So it was really crickets. And so Michael's like, he was honest. He said, you know, we got different communication styles. You know, I need to learn how to not be so harsh. And, you know, I'm still learning this. And, you know, the table acknowledged his comment. Right. And, you know, they talked about, you know, it's good that you know what you need to work on and that you're making changes. And that says a whole lot. You make an effort to change. Elijah said what he learned is it's not just about me. It's not just about it's about we. And, you know, he said, like we talked about before, I can't keep pushing my wife. Yeah. You know, I got to learn how to be patient. And, you know, I need to self-correct when I feel myself pushing her too hard. Let me fix myself and realize, hey, you pushing her too hard.
Going too much.
Before she has to correct me and she won't be so nice about it. Like when she said with the horses, I'm punching your face. And so Jasmina says, you know, as far as when it comes to Elijah and Katina, that, you know, they have their little issues, but she was like, I can see where they balance each other out.
And sweep it on the road, fix it.
Yeah, they balance each other out. And basically, what I got from that too is that, you know, she's kind of feeling like, I hope me and Michael can get in that place, but we're not there right now.
Yeah, she wanted them to get there. I mean, again, seeing how they solve situations, solve issues, shows growth. Even in the 5 or 6 days that they have been together, it shows growth that they're able to have conflict and deal with the conflict. Because guess what? You have a couple who's dealing with conflict now, and one's ready to bounce. You got one who's dealing with conflict now, and she's hiding in the bathroom making vlogs, right? And so let's be honest. So now, then you have Mark and Lindsey who had a conflict, had an issue, knew how to handle it. So again, it comes to you being able to handle that conflict in that situation.
Noy says that, she's come to the realization that Steve expresses himself different. He's a realist. He's very logical. He's analytical. And I had to understand that. So I'm expressive. He might not express himself like I do. And what Steve said was, we've had the tough conversations about how I feel. And he said he told her, we do a lot of hand holding. We do a lot of hugging, a lot of kissing, cuddling and stuff. And so don't get so caught up in what I might say, because I'm not the kind of person that may verbalize it, but just look at my actions. And it's true. Yeah. If somebody wants to hug up with you, if somebody wants to kiss you, if somebody wants to hold your hand all the time, it's safe to say that they like you, that they're into you, that they're feeling you. So he was like, I'm expressing myself physically. I might not be able to express myself verbally. So
I may not be able to use the love word, and that's what he's trying to tell, and to be out there. We do all these things, and I give you all this. That's something special, and I'm not ready to say that. I think with Austin from the DC, right? That him and Jessica and Austin, that it took him a long time.
To say the word,
but he's been showing the deeds and showing the actions,
and he actually said it.
But I think again, people got to look at the actions and the deeds behind it, not necessarily be so concerned about hearing the words.
Mark shares the bumps that they have. Is I'm trying to let her help me. I'm the type of person that is used to doing things by myself and helping other people, and so I need to learn to let somebody help me. And she gives me. I've never had anybody give me so much support out the gate. And just, how much he appreciated it. And so Lindsey looks at Alyssa, and Chris was like, how about you guys? And Alyssa was like, well, don't look at me.
Look,
she says, we're good.
That was a little messy too, but it was about time. We needed to get it on camera. It was messy, but it was about time.
She says, we're good. And I was like, wow.
She lied.
And so Chris was like, no. Yeah, I think we all know we're not on the same page. We're not in the same place as y'all.
Yeah.
Certainly we've got bumps, and she says, we're taking it day by day as it comes at us. And we're both still here. So that says a lot. And he was like, well, yeah, we're still trying to figure out a plan. And so in his vignette, he was like, again, like we said before, he said, we don't talk outside of this.
Do not talk.
And so I'm trying to push as hard as I can, but still give her space to grow. But I'm not. I want to know I'm not in this by myself. I'm all in, and I'm not done. And how does she want to handle this? She want to move on. I want her to say it out loud to everyone, to me, that she's done. Yeah. And so here we go into this conversation.
High expectations. He should have known. That's not. If she can't apologize to you, privately. He should have known that she's not going to apologize to you with this group or her peers watching. That's not going to happen. You could be on the undercard. It's just not going to happen. You can do all these other things and all this other stuff, but it's not going to happen. He should have realized that and understood that. Because she keep making excuses. Yeah,
and so Noy goes ahead and says it. So it looks like everybody else is on track to move in together. What y'all planning on doing? And listen, we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet.
She just developed this plan right there.
But my idea was, and I believe you, right?
That she didn't share with anybody.
She came up with that right then. My idea was that I'll move in for the first half of the experience, not experiment. I'm saying that.
Yeah.
For the first half. And you can move in the apartment for the second half.
Crazy.
Because, I know both of us want us to be a part of it. The experience. And I love you all so much. And just because it didn't work out with us and we're not compatible and the marriage is not working, doesn't mean that, we shouldn't be able to participate in the experience. And basically make friends and have friendships with y'all because, honey, you could do that and not move in the
But
apartment.
that's what Mark said. He said, I didn't come here to make friends.
Chris.
Chris said, I didn't come here to make friends. I came here to have a wife, to enjoy a marriage, to enjoy the relationship, enjoy being together, do the marriage things that married people do. I like these people. I love all these people, right? But I'm
not in it for that.
I'm not in it for that. I didn't come here for them. I came here for a wife.
And the funny part, before he says that, after she gives her little spiel about how we can move in, he says, well, that's the first time I'm hearing this strategy. And that's not something I'm interested in. I about fell out. And a large one jerked his head like, what? Say it then, sir.
Say it off your chest. Say it loud. Say it with your chest, bro.
Say it.
Say it with your chest.
And he said, you know what you said about, I like y'all, but that's not what I'm here for. And he was like, it's a no-go for me. It's a no-go for me. And, continuing to live in the apartment is, that's not related to the marriage. I'm looking for someone that I can spend the rest of my life with. And if someone wants to move exceptionally, he even said this, if somebody want to move real slow, I'm fine with that too. Because I want this to be a lifetime thing. So if you want to move slow, that's fine with me. I'm putting myself out there and I'm getting zero back. And she was like, for him to say, I'm not trying, and he doesn't want to try my solution. It's disappointing. And I feel like he's actively trying to make me look bad. Because here we go again. I'm a good person.
She's doing, like I said, she's doing a great job making herself look bad. You're not a great person. And this dude has just pulled his heart out to you. I want to.
And he ain't finished.
He's not finished, but he's pouring his heart out. His tone is down. His pitch is down. That's my hats off to Chris. Chris never raises his voice. He got his pitch, tone, pitch, and voice together. He's sharing this, and he's pouring his heart out with you, and she's getting ready to.
He says, look, how I handle it is going to be based on what she wants to do. But if you're all out, be all out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 1% in,
be all in. Be in.
Then I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough journey for the two of them. And she says, I want everyone to remember it's not my fault this is happening.
Oh, Lord.
And Lindsey kind of like, and she's like,
Lindsey,
what are you doing? Don't do that. And Lindsey's like, look, I ain't saying nothing. I'm not saying nothing. Lindsey interjects. She like me. She was like, I don't have a poker face. So she's like, I'm trying to stare off into the sunset. I'm trying to find anything to look at. Later on, she says, I'm grabbing onto Mark's hand for dear life.
And you can see her covering her mouth too because she was saying some stuff.
She's turning red. She said, I need a drink.
Yeah.
I need a drink. And, she's like, I came in with the best intentions. I'm putting in all the work like everyone else did. And, I'm happy I can say that it hurts, but it happened this way it's not easy. And she starts kind of crying. And Chris is like, look, all talk aside, I need to know, are you in? Is you or is you ain't my wife?
And when he says that, I knew she's not going to make this decision in front of all these people. The way she was talking, you got to realize when people are giving you something, you got to analyze it right then and there real quick. She's giving him, dog, I'm not going with you. She's giving him, I'm not going to be there. And it didn't take Jasmina saying anything. It didn't take Katina saying anything. She was never going to give him this information at the table in front of all these people. Again, she never said it to him privately. So why would she do it openly? And y'all can say, oh, she felt like she'd be more secure, this, that, and the other. Her girls had her back. No, they did not have her back. None of them agreed with the way that she's treated Chris. All of them like Chris, and she's the one that's being the butt.
Katina says, do you understand what he's saying? And she was like, I mean, yeah, I don't think this is a conversation I should have in front of everyone. And he was like, it never is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they were like, can you just respect her decision? And she didn't want to have this conversation out in the open. And, that's when Jasmina says, I had a conversation with her earlier.
Yeah.
She said she's willing to sit down with you, answer any question you may have. And then after that, you'll know how to move forward. But it's not any of our business. Olajuwon is like, I'm trying to put myself in Chris's shoes. He said the whole time, if she's like, there's things I can't talk about, it's excuse.
It's excuses.
I feel bad for him. He was like, it's all BS. I
She
call
has
BS
more excuses, as I told Tina, and what's
than a man going to jail.
Than a man going to jail. She has more excuses than a man going to jail. Everything's an excuse. Everything's an excuse. That man can't even breathe air without her liking him. And I got a problem with that because she is again. She kept saying, I don't want to air out my grievances, but kept talking. I don't want this to be between, we need to do this privately, but she kept talking. So which one she's confused. Which one do you want to do, privately, or do you want to keep talking? Do you want to be with me or not be with me? Are you all in or all out? You talk about her main focus is so that she doesn't look bad on TV. Guess what? You don't look good on TV. It had nothing to do with Chris. Had nothing to do with the other couples at the table. It was about her. She started crying, faces all red. I'm just happy that none of the other girls got up and tried to console her.
She's a jerk. She's a jerk. She's a jerk. Her thing was, I'm still sitting here. I could have left, but I didn't. Elijah was like, that's BS. Mm-hmm. He was like, it's 60 degrees in Boston. It's 90 degrees in Puerto Rico. You wasn't getting ready to leave.
And she felt like they were going to send her home the day before. Early. She wanted to get home, get to the apartment, change the locks, maybe do some things before Chris get there and keep him out. Talking about squatting. Because I just figured she wanted to get back if she really wanted to get back, she would have got back, got to the apartment and changed all that junk around.
But anyway, he was like, so what are you trying to decide? Mm-hmm. If you're going to try, I'm not going to talk about this. Respect that. I mean, they told you, and she was like, just because it's not working out the way we want doesn't mean I'm not trying. Yeah. And, Lindsey was like, well, I don't know what's going on with her. She keeps talking about with her all the time. Katina asked Chris, are you okay? He was like, I still don't know if I'm supposed to be moving home. I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. He's in limbo because she won't say. She's made a decision, but she won't say what it is. And she's not firm in her decision either because, the only thing she's firm about is I don't want nothing to do with you.
I want nothing to do with you.
But she won't decide that I'm going to leave the experiment.
No, she don't want to leave the experiment. She wants to check. I don't think she leaves this experiment. I think she stays in the experiment. They don't stay married, and we see them being filmed separately. I don't think she leaves the experiment. I don't think they get a divorce until at the end. I know that, some people believe or speculate that they didn't make it to decision day. Of course, we did not expect them to make a decision day. That they had their own little decision day earlier. But
I hope they do.
Again, she is making it all about her. She's making him look like he's the bad guy. This dude, again, he did it better than most men. He sat there calmly. He didn't do all. He didn't put her business out there. He could have flipped her. He could have made her look bad. But again, he held his peace, told his story, told his truth, and left it at that.
Listen. Anyway, all right. So they go and they have a conversation.
Waste of time.
And, he was like, this apartment sharing thing, why do you think that's the best solution? She was like, I'm not saying it's the best solution, but it allows me to participate in the experience with the group. And that's very important for both of us. Yeah. No, that's not important to him. He wants to participate in the experiment, the marriage thing.
He wants to get married.
Chris was like, I noticed she keep using this word experience. And so, that's a strong indicator of your motives. You just in this to say, I'm in this, not to really try. He was like, I have questions about where her thoughts are coming from. Yeah. Were you prepared to adjust to someone who wasn't perfect? She said, yes. I never thought I'd be matched with someone who was 1,000% perfect, but it's a lot of differences that two people can't change on. And he was like, well, have you brought up these changes that maybe I would change? And she was like, yeah, we have. And he was like what?
Like what?
What did you bring up? She said,
hold on. Before you get it, it was crickets. I brought up
that's what and then she says, well, right now I'm not able to mentally to sit here and have this conversation that he wants to have, but I'm going to. And Chris was like, when? She was like, I don't know, maybe next week.
She has a problem. And just repeat that conversation again. Repeat what she said, because you can see all the different personalities, all the different things that she has going on in her mind.
I'm not able to sit here mentally and talk about this now.
But again, you initiated this conversation knowing that you were getting ready to sit down and talk about this.
You said you didn't want to talk about it at the table.
That's right.
You were willing to talk to him. You told Jasmina that you was talk to him and answer whatever questions he had. You told the producer that you would sit and talk to him. They told you sooner rather than later decide. And here again, you're telling him that I can't talk about this now, maybe later, next week.
She keeps slow balling. She wants to get home. I told you. She wants to get home so she can control the narrative. She can't control the narrative in Puerto Rico. She cannot. She wants to make sure that she wants to be the control freak in the situation. And she plays everybody like they stupid, like they don't know what's going on.
He said, if you're not in it, let me know. She says, I'm not able or willing to sit here and give that answer. I can't give you that answer. My head started hurting because I was like,
I felt bad.
It's very easy to tell the man in this moment, I'm not in it.
But she doesn't want to look like the bad guy.
But you look like the bad guy.
But to her, I look even worse if I end my marriage.
You look so much better being truthful than you do glossing it over. You look so much better.
She wants
it's
to
just
gloss
like we
over.
tell our kids. It's just like we tell our kids. If you did wrong, you could just say something up front. And I may have mercy on you. You might get in trouble, but it's not going to be that bad.
All right, but if I have to
if you lie about it, and I find out about it without you telling me, it's going to be that much worse. So again, it's bad. The truth is bad. The truth is ugly. The truth might hurt somebody's feelings. But the truth shall make you free.
And it's going to make Chris free. She just tell the truth.
That's who the you is. Yeah. It's going to set you free from this freaking lollygagging and these shenanigans and this charade you got going on. And it's going to set him free because he'll know how to move. I know how to move. If you let me know, I know how to operate. I ain't got to talk to you. But see, I feel like that's how you want it. But I need you to tell me so I can be like, yes. Just like he felt like you wouldn't want to move in the apartment. Yeah. Based on your behavior. How would he even think that you would want to move in the apartment apart from him? Like, that's not even on his mind because he knows the thing about the apartment is we move in together. So why would it even cross my mind that you want to move in the apartment? Yeah.
Married First Saturday not paying for extra apartment. Just for her. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. Not in the budget.
Again, he says, if there's no chance at all,
let me know.
I want to hear it. She says, I understand your frustration. I'm frustrated too. You have to understand we're both in the same situation right now. And he's like, no, we're not. We're not. We're not in the same situation. I need to know what you finna do, sis. What you gonna do? I don't have no interest in trying that. If you want the apartment for 2 months, knock yourself out. I'm not doing that splitting thing unless you can tell me that there's any chance. I'm going to act accordingly.
But that's like what he said. It's like we acting like divorced parents. That's what I want. It's like we acting like divorced parents who have to share kids and we can't get it right. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be the divorced parent. I want to be in a solid relationship. This man came from marriage, and she's cheating him on the opportunity to be married.
She turns and talks to the producer again. I'm asking him for more time. Why won't he give me more time? And, you know, he's like, I have given you more time.
Give you everything you asked for.
It's, you know, you questioning. She's like, he's questioning my character. And the producer's like, you know, can you give him more time? He was like, but I have.
And your character
what else
still
do you
sucks.
want? Producer, again. First of all, Alyssa, the producer's not your friend. Second of all, producer, stay out of it.
Yes.
Stay out of it. At this point, let call Pastor Cal, call Dr. Pepper, call Dr. Viviana, FaceTime them, get them on Zoom, Google Meet, whatever, Microsoft Teams. Get them on the line and let them handle it. Because that's what this show is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about the experts helping match couples, not the producer helping them out. And I'm not, just get out of it.
But again, go back to my point. We've talked about this in the last 3 or 4 seasons. We're starting to know more producers. We shouldn't see producers, deal with producers.
I shouldn't see the cameraman.
I shouldn't see the cameraman. This thing should be flat out. Again, she poured all these people into this thing, trying to make it seem as if he is pushing her or being a bad guy, and he has not done one solitary thing wrong to her. And matter of fact, he's, again, better than most men because, again, most men wouldn't have
bopped her upside her head.
Or left. Matter of fact, I be honest, I think I joked with you, said most men would have been, I got me a room in Puerto Rico, and I chilling. There's some beautiful women over here. I know I'm supposed to be married, but my wife ain't get it. I'm not going to let this honeymoon room go to waste. So I'm going to find me somebody down here in Puerto Rico to deal with me.
Or more than anything, I'm of the same mindset as Mark. I would be like, shit, you getting on my daggone nerves now. This is foolishness. You ain't gonna keep making me look stupid. I ain't come on here to look stupid. So what you gonna do is you gonna decide what you gonna do, and we gonna figure this out. I'm sick of it. You playing too many games. Just like we said in our panel review on Sunday. I would have ran her down. You ain't all that anyway. Your hair's lopsided. Your hair's lopsided. You look dusty. I don't know who you think you are. You ain't all that. Do you think you are the Duke? Do you think you're the Duchess or where? Who do you think you are?
Yeah, she got too much. Again,
I would have ran her down.
It's all about her upbringing. Her parents, her mother knew this. They knew this. They knew what they'd set this man up for failure. Because they knew what he was getting, and no one really gave him the advice that really handled what he was getting.
What happened to the show? They only did it one season. They need to bring it back, and she need to be on there. Unmatchables.
Yeah, and they need to give him a second chance.
She need to take that Married at First Sight second chance. Need to come back.
Chris need to be on there.
She needs to get some counseling. She needs to get on some meds. She needs a reality check. She needs me to call her and let me help you. Let me show you something. Let me tell you something.
She needs. I'm interested to see next week how Pastor Cal's conversation goes with her and Chris after he told us on this past episode that they're aware of everything that's going on. I want to see how Pastor Cal better not let us down.
Parents, and then we're gonna go. This is a lesson. Correct your children. Correct those behaviors when they're young. Teach them to respect people's feelings.
Yeah.
Teach them that everything is not about you. It's not about how you feel. You have to be concerned about your brother, man. The greatest commandment hinges on, I'm gonna be churchy. The greatest command is love the Lord thy God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. But the second one is love your brother as you love yourself, or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. All the commands hinge, everything we do, every law that is set hinges on the respect and love and care and concern for your your fellow man.
Yeah, she's not doing
Teach
that.
your children that, because this is terrible. A 30-year-old woman. And this is terrible. I'm disgusted.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. We'll see next week.
I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, because
if that was too deep for y'all, but it's for real. I'm really.
She make you feel some kind of way
because I'm disturbed. I don't like when people treat people like that.
Yeah.
Don't treat people like that. It's not right. It's not right. And she is so lucky she got matched with the person she did, because it's so many other people out there that are not nice.
Yeah.
That would absolutely thrash her.
And it should have been certain people.
Tell her about herself.
Yeah.
Hurt her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Make her feel this big. That's how I know his mother raised him right.
Yeah. And you sure?
I'm done.
You got something else to say?
I got 2 words.
What's that?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Okay. Got it. Yeah. But
That's not 2 words, but I broke it up.
It is really unbelievable. She has a delusional complex. All right. She is very delusional about situation and events. All right. Situation events. And she trying to manipulate and make sure that she comes off looking good. I mean, none of the couples bought it. She just, again, bad. Let us know what you thought in the comment section below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you check out our review, our panel discussion on Sunday afternoon. Make sure you check it out. Please check it out. Be there with us as we have some of the great YouTubers coming along with us to discuss Married at First Sight from this past week. So make sure you check it out. If you missed any of those episodes, there's also a playlist there. Check that out as well. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, and we catch you down the road. Wow, we got a lot to talk about. We talked about a lot. Let's see what happens next week. Will they get divorced? That is the question.
Bye.
Bye.